And we are live on the Rainy City Roller Derby track. Welcome back. We are kicking off the quarterfinal games of the Roller Derby World Cup 2018 here in Rainy City, Manchester. I'm Valkyria and I'm here with Hammer Abby.
Oh, I tried to interrupt you, but that was a bad idea. It's really, really loud on this track and in this building right now. You can hear the house announcers doing the hype up intro of all the skaters behind us. And I suspect this is going to be a very loud game throughout because these are two really closely matched teams. They are currently ranked number 4 and number 5. England is ranked 4, Sweden is 5 in this tournament. So I suspect, I'm going to get my microphone a little bit closer because it's, like I said, really loud in here.
That's a lot better. Now I can actually hear you.
Hopefully we're not blowing out the ears of our friends at home. But like I said, England currently ranked number 4, Sweden at number 5. Sweden with a 3-1 record, 3 wins, 1 loss this weekend at the World Cup. England at 4 wins. So apparently both of these teams played each other in 2017 as well. England won that 161 over 106. And so right now we've got a little stats predictor that it's 1.51 to 1 in favor of England. So pretty close in terms of the odds and the power rankings for both of these teams. Going to be really interesting to see how that plays out today. And we will do our best to walk you through it. And hopefully we'll hear ourselves and you'll hear us. And our ears won't get blown out by these very enthusiastic crowds and our fellow announcers to our side here. I gotta say, World Cup is a blast to work.
It is.
It has its challenges, though. Things change so very quickly, and we just got what these matchups were going to be for the quarterfinals because we are now in the quarterfinals of the tournament. This is where the brackets start and things start to get real.
And speaking of real, we're going to kick you off with the rosters. I got England for you. Skating are number 07, Ella Story, number 11, Faye Roberts, 12, Alex Wild, 13, Stephanie Maney, 22, Rogue Runner, 3, Onyeka Igwe, number 4, Delta Strike, 40, Kate Block, 419, Philly, 6955 is Menace, 8008 is Gas, 84 is Katie Helvetica Black, 86 is Terry Sudran, and number 888 is Charlotte Scarlett.
And I will give you the England roster as I know it, but I think, here we go. Came in a little late. We got number 3. Wait, what'd you just do?
I did just...
You just did England. I'm sorry. I can't hear a dang thing. I am so sorry. We're going to do our best. Sweden. I've got Sweden's roster for you. I sure do. 03, Borealis. 1 is Halumi. 100 is Corley Hoare. 131, Osterman. 18, Hammerberg. 180, Kronenhelm. 22, Malou. 26, Bricken. 3, Prince Sophia. 46, Bergloff. 53, DK. 7, Lundby. 79, Goldie Blocks. 87, Slinky. 9, Eriksson. And we are already at the action on the track right now. Sweden
we are
versus
indeed.
England.
We are half a minute into the first jam, and we have number 22 against number 22. Malou taking a lead for Team Sweden.
Nope. Getting a track cut, unfortunately, on that pass. So this is going to be a power jam for Team England and Rogue Runner, actually. Quick change of fortune, thing not going the way that Team Sweden wants just exactly at this time. But, I mean, it's the very beginning of the game, so who knows? Rogue Runner in the far straightaway right now, dealing with the Sweden blockers and brushes off one final hit from Osterman to get through for a 5-point grand slam. Tangling now in between turns 3 and 4. The pack's moving quickly. Huge takeout on the line there by Halumi. Takes out Rogue Runner, excuse me. Malou back on the track with the star cover in hand.
We really do have to apologize. We are a lot more organized, but we only just got the rosters for the teams, so...
Like actual rosters that hadn't been hastily handwritten. Everybody's, it's a big volunteer effort. Things are complicated. Stuff happens. Big drag back right there happening by Osterman, taking Rogue Runner back into the straightaway. And, after a fight at the front, Malou gets through, but that's going to be the end of the jam. Another 4 points, it looks like, for Team England. No, 3, I'm sorry. So an 8-point jam to start off this game. The crowd is already losing its mind.
And we are starting the next one with an empty penalty box. Delta Strike with a number 4 starting for Team England, and number 87 is Slinky for Team Sweden.
Slinky's had a pretty good weekend so far already, showing off those fancy footwork and the ability to sort of Gumby her away around blockers.
Slinky now getting a little bit of a head start with Kronholm. Her pivot going into the walls, giving a little bit of offense. Right off the jammer line. Pack is moving very slowly. Both of the jammers pushing into the walls, very stationary. And there is a slight opening on the outside line in turn 1, giving room for Delta Strike to get out as the lead jammer. Slinky taking off the helmet cover. Pivot Kronholm.
Hey, there's the inside line.
There is a little hop there over the inside line in turn 1, and Slinky out of the pack as well. Delta Strike though coming in for a 4-point scoring pass. Calls off the jam for a 4-on-0 for Team England. Nope. There is one more finger coming up from the head ref. 5-on-0.
It's those thumbs. Gotta watch for those thumbs, that extra point. It's looking like it's going to be Steph Maney. I think we've heard of her a few times. Taking the star for Team England, going to be facing off against Prince Sofia, number 3 for Team Sweden. There's the whistle. Ignore the whistles in the background. Steph Maney up the inside line. Not too much trouble finding that hole. That's going to be lead jamming status for England.
Again, Prince Sofia very quick in taking off the helmet cover, but blasting to the front and through for the initial pass.
Steph Maney battling between turns 1 and 2 at the last minute. Sees it, but that's going to be 2 points stolen by Prince Sofia, who hustled her way through. A 3-2 jam for England, but nice work by Sweden, opening up some holes there for Prince Sofia to take advantage of at the last second.
First points for Sweden to the scoreboard. 3-2 jam, 16-on-2 in total. Up to now, we have played for about 4.5 minutes.
Alex Wild, number 12 for England, with the star Corley Hoare for Sweden. Alex Wild making mincemeat of those blockers, gets lead jamming status for England.
Star pass from Corley Hoare to Kronholm, number 180, new jammer for Team Sweden. Alex Wild coming up to scoring pass and is tiptoeing along that inside line, getting past, as it looks like, all of the blockers. Yes.
Nope, just 3.
No, 3 points to the board for Alex Wild.
Different styles of finger formations, I think, for different refs. Yeah. Malou on the line for Sweden. Will be facing off against number 22, Rogue Runner for England.
If we're lucky, they will be keeping up the jammer rotation because Malou and Rogue Runner were the ones who were starting off the game.
So an even jammer rotation for each team so far. Rogue Runner getting hit to the outside and pulling a forearm penalty. Will go to the penalty box. So Team Sweden now on the power jam.
Malou has just taken off the helmet cover, so that will be the first 2-minute jam of the game. No more lead jammer available. Malou on the outside line, still stuck in turn 1. Trying to get through, but solid defense in the back from Team England. Just Jess being that anchor there.
Oh, just grinding away at this tripod headed into turn 2, not getting anywhere, and that power jam will come to a close. So nice work by the defense of Team England, just killing the power jam, but also nice work by Team Sweden, knocking out Rogue Runner on her re-entry as well.
So we're 1 minute into the jam and have no jammer completing the image pass it. Just as I said, we have Rogue Runner out of the pack.
And no one can call it off right now, so it's just going to be having to go tit for tat, as we say. But Malou not able to get past these blockers, still hanging out right around between turns 1 and 2. Pack starting to move back. Oh, there's the star pass. So successfully handing it off to the pivot for Team Sweden. Dika now with the star on her helmet.
And yeah, scoring trip now for Sweden as well. Rogue Runner again taken out over the outside and recycled. Pack.
Oh, it's going to be a penalty. Yeah, sometimes when you get airborne and you kick someone in the back, you go to the penalty box.
Misconduct call shown here by Jamaref, probably leaping contact. So a power jam now.
I mean, she got killer air. I will give her that. That was a high jump, but not clean. So 4 points to 2 at the very end of that super long, hard-fought jam. Going to bring Team Sweden up to 6 points to England's 21.
First jam that is ending in favor of Sweden with a positive point differential here.
P.S. Sisu mouthguards are the official mouthguard of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup. The more you know.
We're going into this power jam with Slinky on the jam line for Team Sweden. Sweden opening up from the inside line, opting for offense in this power jam start. Roadrunner already standing in the penalty box, will be released in a moment.
Boy, yeah, England just not giving Sweden any amount of time to work with these power jams that they've had. They're doing a really good job of basically making them inconsequential. Slinky now stuck behind Faye Roberts in this tripod, just grinding away in turn 1. Sweden losing a blocker to the box. 2 to beat in the front for Roadrunner. And there's going to be a penalty, unfortunately, on Bricken, who was the last blocker to beat. So Roadrunner now through and lead jammer for England.
And as soon as the lead call was heard on track, Slinky took off the helmet cover, looking for a pivot. Roadrunner hit that pack pretty hard.
Yeah, it took her a second to get back up there. I think that was just because it was kind of a messy pack situation to try to get her bearings back in. That'll be a multiplayer assessed to an England blocker. Roadrunner just ducking down, picking up a 5-point grand slam, finally through there. Slinky hit to the outside, dragged back by the pivot. Kid block.
Slinky still stuck in that initial. Roadrunner in another scoring pass, stuck in a wall of 3 there in the front. Slinky again taken to the infield, and Kid block just as that defense blocker that you cannot pass.
Kronholm trying to play some offense there, push some of those blockers away from Slinky. Slinky was definitely not just doing a dance move, but signaling that she thought maybe there should be a penalty against someone for, I think, hitting her high, and that looks like she was happy about the pivot for England just got called. Kid block sent to the box at the end of that. But 3 more points for England. Boy, that was a long jam for just 8 points for England.
Yep.
I mean, every point matters, but that felt like a lot more.
Don't forget, Roadrunner was in the penalty box in the beginning of the jam.
There is that. Fair point. Prince Sophia jamming for Sweden. Steph Maney for England. We saw her playing the pivot position for a long time for London and then eventually getting moved back up into jammer. I mean, she can kind of do it all. So, you know, put her wherever you want her. She'll get the job done.
I think I remember having seen her jamming a lot before she went for pivot, but this is the first lead in the game for Sweden.
Prince Sophia out in front. Yeah, she did. She went from one to the other and then back again.
Yeah, lead for Prince Sophia, the first in the game, as I just mentioned, and hopefully the chance now for Sweden to put a couple of points on the board and not just blockers into the penalty box. And we actually have a full 5 point, including the jammer's lap point scoring pass.
Steph Maney now out of the pack too and giving chase. She did a nice hop to try to get through. Didn't work out, and then managed to pull her way through on the inside line. Prince Sophia signaling to her pack. Things moving very fast into the far straightaway now. We got a bit of a race. Steph Maney looking to her bench. What's going on? What should I do? Well, you don't have leads. So you should probably just keep skating. Prince Sophia in the front. Hits hard. She's going to get no points before the call off.
I'm guessing the aim was to release that one blocker from the penalty box to have a full lineup at the next jam.
Yeah. I'm sure the aim was also to get points, but it didn't quite work out in both respects. Curly Hoare now at the star for Sweden.
Delta strike number 4 for Team England.
Teams that started up by the pivot line and sucking back very quickly right before the whistle blew. Curly Hoare almost had the inside line, gets drawn back by Philly.
It was a very close call there. Good awareness as he was actually outside of the track.
Delta strike pushing up, one to beat around the corner. She's going to do it. That's lead Team England, and Curly Hoare headed to the box.
For a low block penalty. So another power jam now for Team England at 29 to 11 point differential. Not quite what we want to have at this moment in the game.
Well, you never know. Even though they're ranked super close in this particular tournament, the disparities are, I'm not writing Sweden out by any means, but I'm just talking generally. You never really know how things are going to go because even at the top levels, there are still some big differences between teams. Now, Sweden benefits from having a lot of players on their team who play on the same teams at home. So Crime City and Stockholm, of course, being the main two. And then England, of course, a lot of London roller girls as well. Curly Hoare back on the track. Nice spin move around the outside on turn 3. Gets through on her initial pass, but Delta Strike going to pick up 4 and call it off before they can do anything with that. Yeah, that was a 14-point jam.
You brought up a good point in talking about a high-level gameplay that we have on the teams, because both of the teams actually do consist of skaters from D1 and D2 levels. So with for Sweden, we have, of course, Crime City in Stockholm, but we also have Gothenburg, who are closing in on D2 level now. And for England, we have like the main part of the team is made up of not only London Roller Girls, but also Rainy City, who are D1 as of last year, and a couple of other teams here in the UK that are ranked in D2 level by now.
So it's an interesting mix. It always takes a minute for the teams to cohese, but I think some of these teams, like the higher level teams, generally have more time to play together before this happens. Lead jammer going to Ella Story, jamming for the first time for England. Mixing up their jammer rotation a little bit here. Nice little spin move on the turn 2. Malou is through on her initial. Ella looking to the bench, hands in the air, ready to call out. No, but that's going to be a forearm, sending her to the box. So this is a power jam for Malou and Sweden.
The Swedish blockers not quite able to decide if they're going for offense or not, and there we have Duque and Berglöf opening up from the inside line, giving a full 5-point pass to Malou.
Nice assist from Berglöf there, otherwise known as Sweet Hurt, opening up the line for Malou. Malou back around, another scoring pass in the near straightaway, grinding between all 3 English blockers here. Trying to call it off, can't call it off, isn't actually the lead, and Ella Story back on the track, sneaks in, picks up 4 points on her re-entry from the box.
So that was a third power jam in favor of Team Sweden. And up to now, they were not able to capitalize on any of them.
Yeah, England's defense just doing a really marvelous job of blocking down jammers. Even when offense in like a big crush formation like that, Sweden came up and crushed from the inside on that turn and just got immediately recycled in front of, couldn't make anything work with it. But a nice drawback here now by Berglöf on Ella Story.
And another drawback, this time it's Malou stuck on the outside line and taken back by Just Jess. The jam reaches its natural conclusion.
The original hand-prepared skate bearing, it's cheese balls, available in-house. Well, I mean, you can't, if you're not here, you can't get them in-house, but you can check them out online. Cheese Balls skate bearings, proud sponsor of the Roller Derby World Cup.
We're going into the next jam with number 87 Slinky for Sweden and 22 Rogue Runner for Team England. Rogue Runner aiming for the inside line and Slinky blasting right to the middle through her own wall. Going home as pivot, doing some offense again. Slinky leaning into that into that wall in front. One blocker dropping to the penalty box for England. Sneaky recycled by the infield. And again, it's Kid block.
Hammarberg for Sweden with a knockout on Roadrunner to the inside line. Just barely managed to thread that needle. Now back in front with a full tripod formation, holding them back. Barely inches being made by either of these jammers in the near straightaway, trying to push through these tripods with one blocker apiece in the box for each team. Roadrunner finally through in a no pass, no penalty, so not lead. Slinky does have the opportunity, but I'm not sure England is going to give it to her.
Oop. Nice faking there. Roadrunner faking to the middle, pulling the wall to the middle of the track and taking the inside line for an easy 5-point pass.
Well, yeah, that was some impressive footwork to keep herself in bounds on that pass. This time getting knocked down between turns 1 and 2. Slinky getting recycled back a little ways here as well by Terry Sudran. Gonna have to start again in turn 1. Roadrunner through. That's going to be a 5-point Grand Slam for England.
And what a fantastic awareness. Was taken out by Kronholm. And the call from the referees sending Kronholm to the penalty box was barely made, where she already stepped in bounds in front of Kronholm again.
Another 5-point Grand Slam for England. That's 15 points on the jam so far for Roadrunner. Slinky getting drawn back. That jam is going to come off though. Slinky not getting through, which is not something you see a whole lot.
That was a no pass for Team Sweden.
Revele is the leading tech performance equipment for women in contact sports. The Revelia, a bust and shoulders protection for women, was awarded at ISPO, the world's largest sports and innovation fair in the world.
So this is by now, this has been the biggest jam of the game for Team England. Stephanie Meni up against Prince Sophia. And Stephanie Meni nicely moving the entire wall of the Swedish defense to the outside line and is taking the inside with a little help from Onyeka Igbe. But Prince Sophia made their way out of the pack as well and is chasing Steph Mani down. Steph Mani already in that scoring trip.
Oh, was that fast enough? It was. 2 points again, stolen by Prince Sophia. Looking real happy about that as well.
Nice.
Boy, really put on the Jets out of the pack there,
Yeah.
and I always love seeing that from jammers who aren't lead. You know that's like, they're going to try to call it off before you can score points, so you better haul your butt as fast as you can to make that work. 67 for Team England, 23 for Team Sweden, just under 10 minutes to go in the first half.
And Steph Mani was stuck in the middle of the pack when she called off the jam. Number 12. You continue.
Oh, it's Alex Wild. I'm sorry, I didn't want to talk over you, Al. Alex Wild also getting lead jammer. Meanwhile, Curly Hoare being recycled way back by Philly. Takes the helmet cover off, looking for the pass. Not going to get it, though. The pivot on the other side of the track right now. Curly Hoare gets knocked at the inside, but manages to stay in bound, some defying physics in some fashion. I'm not entirely sure I understand. 4 points in the meantime going to Alex Wild, and now we've got a chase into the pack. Alex Wild goes in hard, calls it off before Sweden can score. Fast jam.
Kid Blog as pivot starting the next jam from the penalty box for a direction of gameplay penalty.
Can't go that direction. Not allowed. Malou, number 22, in blue for Sweden. Roadrunner back out there, also number 20. It's just twos across the board.
It is.
22 versus 22. I'm sure that's super fun for the refs.
You were rhyming. Did you realize that? Number 22 in blue.
Oh, it had a nice ring to it.
Malou inside, Roadrunner trying the wall on the outside line. Backlove going in for support from Malou, and that is lead for Sweden, which might be the second lead, I think, of this game only. Yeah. And Roadrunner recycled by Berglov.
That is a testament. The fact this is only their second lead jammer status in the game, and they've got 23 points on the board to this.
And we're in jam 13 already, and that is a 5-point pass, including the jammer lap point, and a huge smile on Malou's face.
Yeah.
Roadrunner with the helmet cover in hand was trying to block Malou when Malou came up to score.
This will be the first attempted star pass by England in the game. Haven't really needed to do it just yet. Malou getting knocked to the floor, taking a second to get back up behind Kid Block.
Well, Malou was not exactly knocked down. It's more that she slid down on Kid Block.
Slid down her back.
Front, but yes.
Yeah, front, sorry.
And Malou again on the lockdown there.
Onyeka Igwe in the front of that tripod, rotating back around now with her back to Malou. Kid Block with the star now, taking a successful star pass and free of the pack. Malou sees that coming though and calls it off with another 5 points. So a 10-point jam for Team Sweden, putting them up to 33 to Team England 75.
And the crowd is going wild.
You know, you can follow along online. The hashtag this weekend is hashtag RDWC 2018. All of the stats, speculations, photos, videos, fun times, things like that. That's where you're going to find it. You can also follow at Derby World Cup for official news and updates and things.
Next up on the line with the number 7 Lumbu for Team Sweden, number 4 Delta Strike for Team England, Delta Strike along the outside line for a quick lead, and even quicker is Lumbu in taking off the cover and passing it, trying to pass it to the pivot. But wonderful defense there again from the England skaters. Terry Sudrin in the back, nice lateral movements, keeping Lundby behind and far away from the pivot.
Delta Strike on the outside, not able to get past the tripod of Swedish blockers. Lundby also looking for the outside. They're just switching places on each side of the track, going back and forth. But the blockers are always there when you don't want them to be. A little bit of movement headed into turn 2, and then things come to a screeching halt yet again. And we have a forearm call being assessed to the pivot for England.
Kid Block. And there is the initial pass for Lumbu with a turnaround hop over turn 2. Call off from Delta Strike for another 5.
That was some fancy footwork there from Lundby. I appreciate that sort of ability to spin around on a toe stop and kick your legs out so that you don't get hit by that blocker coming after you. Seeing a lot of gravity-defying moves this weekend from jammers and sometimes blockers as well.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Prince Sophia up against versus Stephanie Maney.
They're very close and cozy off the line here, but not for long. Prince Sophia up front, trying to get through England's tripod, pushing them out a little bit further away from Sweden. Sweden's going to lose a blocker to a multiplayer call. That's going to break up their tripod real quick, but they reform it, and lead is called for Prince Sophia. They're going to have to give her up.
Third lead jam of the game. 2 out of those going to Prince Sophia.
She's having a good run. Steph Maney out of the pack now, too, coming around on her initial pass. So Prince Sophia gets hit to the outside, picks up just 3 points, calls it off.
And this is the first time that England are held to 0 points.
Oh,
the second time.
Second time.
Thank you, Grades Maxme. The third time.
Oh, yeah, they were counting up stats. We're hand counting stats. We don't have any fancy displays today, so we just got to do it on our own as best as we can. Curly Hoare, number 100 for Sweden.
Ella Story, 07 for Team England.
Emma Story just kind of getting rotated in occasionally. Oh, we've got a legal procedure call going to Curly Hoare going to the box for Sweden. So a power jam now for Ella Story and England. Story getting knocked to the inside, going to have to start again. Heading into turn 1, piece of equipment goes flying, but the ref is picking up. Everything's fine. Hopefully nothing important.
Nice skippity hop there between 1 and 2, between the turns. Power jam over. That was the third one in favor of Team England. And Curly Hoare pushed to the front by Team England blockers and pushed through that tiny gap at the inside line.
again, just able to pick up her feet and sort of hop over the legs that were in her way on the line. But they're going to call it off before she can score any more points. So an 8-point jam for Emma Story brings England to 93 to Team Sweden's 36. Blood and Thunder, whose belief is life's better on roller skates. You can visit them online at bloodandthundermag.com for roller derby inspired apparel.
Someone mixed up the jammer rotation. We have 12 Alex Wild up against Malou with a number 22.
How dare they?
How dare they?
Both of the packs skating backwards toward the line, not giving those jammers much space to work with as they go in.
Alex Wild taken to the outside by Duque and recycled a bit, but Malou recycled as well on Nika. The box is getting full now.
Yeah, we got 1 and 1.
And is that Goldilocks, I think, for Sweden? Or
Someone is in there. Meanwhile, Alex Wild picking up lead jammer for England. Malou passing a star to the pivot, successfully able to break free. I believe that's going to be DK.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
4-point pass in the meanwhile for Alex Wild. Looking at the box, they're giving her the go-ahead. Pack's moving pretty quickly here. The boxes are clear now. I suspect that's what they're looking for. Moving very quickly into the near straightaway. Dika in the back, trying to juke and weave her way through. She does. And a penalty being assessed to Alex Wild for a forearm. So Dike, now the only jammer on the track with a power jam for Sweden.
And 5 points to the board for Sweden in that previous pass.
This is where that extra jammer training pays off for the pivots. Like, oh, I've got a power jam. I have to do some stuff now. And she does with a little bit of help from her friends. Last minute hit from Igwe does not take her out, so that's going to be a 5-point grand slam for Sweden.
Swedish trying to go with blockers there.
Nice offensive move there from Goldie Blocks that helped her get through on that pass. Going to have to give a shout out to the blockers when it's due. So you're right, it was Goldie Blocks before in the box.
I see Alex Wild returning to track to the Swedish blockers here as well.
I see that as, whoa, big takeout. DK smiling though as she gets up. 10-point pass for Sweden to 4 points for England. England topping the century mark, 101 to 46.
8 points to England.
Oh.
There were 5 more for the
8 and 14.
Sneaky coming out of that box there.
That's what I get for relying on the scoreboard. It hasn't been updated instantaneously.
And that is the period clock.
Wow,
yes.
That's halftime already. Oh my gosh, where did the time go? Wow, that was a fast-moving, hard-hitting first half. 101 to 50, so a 51-point up for England. And I don't even feel like that's the case, having watched all of this. Like, both teams playing so fast and hard, putting everything they've got on the track right now. And it feels like a much closer game.
Let's have a quick look at our predictor. 1.5 to 1.
In favor of England.
In favor of England.
And that is exactly what we've got right now. I mean, that's not actually the math, but I like that. I like to pretend that those numbers actually, it's 2 to 1. It's 2 to 1 right now. So
yeah,
it's like a
1.5
0.5
off.
Is
not too, yeah.
Well. It's pretty darn close.
Anyways, 101 points for Team England, 50 for Team Sweden. We're going to compile some numbers for you during halftime and be back with you in a little more than 10 minutes. Thank you very much, Hammer Abby.
Well, thank you, Val.
Thank you, Great Maxby.
All right, we'll be right back.
And we are back on the Rainy City Roller Derby track here at Event City Manchester. If you've only just tuned in and missed the first period, you're lost.
Some roller derby has happened. England versus Sweden in one of the first of the 4 quarterfinals of the World Cup this year. England currently sitting on a decent-sized lead, 101 to 50 over Sweden. So 51 points of a differential for Sweden to make up for in the second half. But if England keeps playing like they're playing with that tight defense, I don't know what's going to happen. Anything could happen.
Kicking off the second period are 22 and 22 again. Malou taking the lead right off the line for Sweden. The Rogue Runner battling it on the inside line, gets taken to the outside by Goldie Blocks. Taking a brief knee, and Bergloff in front of her, holding that wall of 3. That is a nice start and a little different from the previous period, what we're now seeing from Sweden.
Nice assist there from Dike, opening up the line for Malou to get through and score that 5-point grand slam for Sweden. Gotta love that offense that happens when you're just stuck with a tripod and can't get anywhere.
Roadrunner recycle via the infield. Bergloff and Malou recycle over the outside line. Pack has come to a stop. Malou dropping back, trying to gather some speed, hopping along the outside, and a star pass.
Star pass is being attempted, was not effective.
Nope.
Roadrunner got knocked down to the inside, is getting recycled way back onto the near straightaway right now. Almost finds an inside line, but Sweden closes the door. Perhaps. There it is, the star pass to Kid Block is effective and out and through. With just 37 seconds left in the jam, Malou's gonna call it off. I'm sorry, that wasn't Kid Block. I just start to assume the pivot is Kid Block, and I'm totally wrong.
So did I.
That was Shaolin Scarlet. They do have very similar hair, to my credit. But 5 points at the end there means a 10-point jam for Team Sweden, now at 60. So a nice strong way to open the second half for the team in blue.
Although again, we had a pretty long jam that was played. Delta strike up for Team England.
Prince Sofia for Sweden.
Prince Sofia aiming for the inside line. Delta strike right into the middle of the Swedish wall.
Roiling, chaotic, but very planned pack. Lead jammer going to Delta strike.
Prince Sofia, jammer cover in hand, passes their pivot and is trying to get through the wall on their own again. Delta strike through for another pass.
Hammarberg in the box will be there for a full minute. Got a back block and then an in-sub for not responding to it in time. Take a little extra time off.
In her defense, it is loud.
It is very, very loud in here. There are a couple games going on right now. I believe USA versus Finland behind us getting pretty rowdy. And it's going to be an elbow call.
Forearms, elbow.
They hold a different part of their arms. So it's forearms when it's held a little higher, and it's the elbow when they grab their elbow. This is what I figured out over time. These little subtle ref cues they give you.
Which will not matter anymore after the World Cup, because then it's just going to be a forearms period.
I'm going to miss that fine detail. I'm not going to lie. I enjoy it. Prince Sofia around trying to get through just 2. This time it is Kid Block in the pivot stripe. Oh, just manages to thread the needle on the inside line and around for 4 points for Sweden.
And a high block call issued on Delta strike. That is an interesting turn of events.
Power jam for Sweden. They're hanging back for a second now. Here's the crush up the inside, but England immediately reacts. So Prince Sofia skating into a fast-moving tripod. They've got all 4 blockers back on the track now at turn 1. So Sweden going to go in for a second strike of offense, but not before the jam is done. So 2 points were in the pocket for England, 3 for Sweden at the end, which is going to make it a 12-7 jam in favor of England, 113-67. England down 1 blocker in the box in addition to the jammer. So a power start being afforded to Sweden. They're going to send Curly Hoare out there to take it.
It is interesting to see in this game that the offense that is played in Stockholm and in Malmö does not work at all against Team England.
You see sort of these traditional crushes happen where they all run up one line as a unit and try to crush. Curly Hoare through with lead jammer on this power jam. But so far, that tactic has been almost completely ineffectual, like you said. England really good at brushing that off. And that's just, the sport is definitely evolving at those top levels where that just doesn't work against really dynamic formations, including like power pairs. Curly Hoare, though, nice spin move on the far inside line, going to pick up 4 points on her way around. Delta strike back on the track, out of the box.
Has finished her initial pass on the pass before with the jammer cover in hand.
So she got 2 points at the end there.
She did. No more in that last pass for Curlyhor. 4-2 jam in favor of Sweden, but still with a 44-point difference.
Still a lot of time left, though, about 24 and a half minutes. Depending on the momentum, we could see a change.
Alex Wild up against Malou. And Malou pushed to the inside by Kati Helvetica Black and held behind now by Kid Block and Helvetica. So Alex Wild in the wall in front. Try formation for Sweden as well. None of the jammers getting anywhere. We just moved into turn 1. And Alex Wild with a jump turn over turn 1 past the whole pack, becoming the jammer and already coming up into scoring trip.
Malou has the star in hand. No pivot to hand it to just now, though. Still stuck. And Alex Wild going to take advantage of some of the confusion there to pick up a 5-point grand slam. Here's Sweden on that inside line crush. Let's see if it works this time. Malou able to get through, but they immediately recycle in front of her in turn 3, and a forearm being assessed, not to the jammer, but to Igwe, headed to the box for England. Never know when it's the jam ref. You have a moment of breathlessness. Oh, God.
Alex Wild struggling a little on a last scoring trip, stepping through in the inside line and scoring 4 more before calling it off.
You can get a different shirt from a different roller derby league from around the world every month. Join the Roller Derby Shirt Club at rollerderbyshirtclub.com. Makes sense.
It does. Ella Story, number 07, up against Lundby, number 7, and we're going into an official timeout.
That's Snake Eyes, 7-on-7 in dice and craps. You roll 2 sevens. It's called Snake Eyes.
I have no idea what
These are things that I know about gambling. I don't gamble. I know it's a 0-7, but I'm just going to call it 7-7. Is it ones? Am I wrong? I'm totally wrong. The producer's making fun of me. I don't know anything about gambling, as it turns out, which is fine because I don't really gamble. Sevens is something, though, isn't it? I don't. Twitter's probably yelling at me right now. Hashtag RDWC 2018 if you want to yell at me about how little I know about.
Hashtag Hammer can't gamble.
Hammer knows nothing.
No.
I'm like Jon Snow. I know nothing.
Well.
Yeah, dice only have 6 sides. Wow, it has been a long weekend. Long weekend with a mushy brain, but I can still talk about roller derby, so let's do that. Lundby jamming for Sweden. Ella Story jamming for England, but headed to the box on a forearm call. That has been the call of the weekend, PS. We've been seeing a lot of forearms on jammers. Lundby through. Lead jammer for Sweden.
I'm just wondering, I thought I was seeing a lot of multiplayers, but I think multiplayers' forearms are
neck and neck, perhaps.
Yeah.
Oh, a not too hard pass there. 5-point grand slam for Lundby. Weirdly enough, I've seen several multiplayers called on jammers this weekend, which you don't see very often.
Strangely enough.
Yes, it can happen. Lundby back around in a scoring pass. Far straight away, she finds it. England only down 1 blocker right now. Sweden down 1 now for a forearm call. Halumi headed to the box. That's 10 points on the jam so far for Lundby, though. Not too bad. She's coming up against a much more steady, well-formed tripod of England. And Ella Story back on the track like lightning, flies through that pack on the outside for her initial pass. Going to put the star back on her head if she can. There it goes. Nice work by Lundby there. That's going to be another 4 at the end, so a 14-point jam for Sweden. Unanswered by England, 124-85. Team Sweden just creeping up.
And that was the 3rd power jam we had in favor of Sweden within this period. And it looks like this time Lundby was able to actually gain a little out of that.
All right, we got Prince Sophia dancing on the line here with Rogue Runner. Rogue Runner just collapsing into the middle of the tripod of Swedish blockers, pushing against the pivot as she comes back up. Cornholm pivot for Sweden. Box clear as his last Swedish blocker joins. No one through. Doing battle on turn 1. Prince Sophia out front, 1 to beat, but England quickly reforming and stopping on a dime to create the bridge there. Nice work. Oh, there it is. Lead jammer for Prince Sofia up the inside line. Wait, no? Not lead jammer. Everything just ended, and I don't know why. Apparently she didn't have lead. Apparently that was the English jammer, and I missed the whole thing. And apparently some other people did too, because there were some confused faces out there and a bench coach who didn't look very happy either. I'm sorry, everybody watching at home, for leading you astray. So obviously things have come to a halt on the track as we try to figure out what just happened.
And in the meantime, I would like to tell you about Sweet80.com. It's a new roller derby-inspired leisurewear brand dedicated to Claire Sweetewigs Lawrence. Sweet80's range of hoodies, jackets, vests, tees, and accessories are perfect for the track, gym, and school street. Suck it up. A portion of profits go to the Claire Lawrence Foundation to fund brain cancer charities. Sweet80.com, wear, roll, give.
I'd also like to give a shout out to Strong Athletic. Strong Athletic believes that every human has the right to celebrate their strength, play sports, be active, find their power, speak their voice, and be seen. You can find them online at strongathletic.com. So looking at how the matchups are going to play out as we figure out the finals of these quarterfinals, we're looking at it right now. So the loser of this game and the game between...
Are you trying to figure out my handwriting?
I know, I am trying to figure out your writing. Which okay, so loser of this game versus the loser of Australia versus France will go on to play a game, and the loser of the USA-Finland game will go on to play whoever loses the Canada versus Argentina game. And then the winner of that game will compete for 5th and 6th place. The losers will compete for 7th and 8th place.
Exactly.
We don't yet know who will go on to compete for anything higher than that, because we have to find out what happens in semifinals tomorrow. But we're back on the track right here. Malou jamming against Delta Strike, and it's going to be Delta Strike through for, nope, not lead jammer, no pass, no penalty, not lead, which means Malou can still get lead, but takes the helmet cover off. No, can't do that anymore. You can hear the crowd go, "Aw," as soon as it happens. So this will be a 2-minute jam. Multiplayer call being assessed on Terry Sidron of England. Malou is free. Gonna put the star back on.
And Jammers now both in scoring position, and Malou even in lapping position.
Yeah, Delta Strike got hit to the outside and dragged back onto the near straightaway, had to restart, and Malou got through without too much trouble on that pass. This one might be a different story. One blocker for Sweden down as well. Delta Strike through now for 4 points. Pushing into the far straightaway. Malou getting blocked pretty thoroughly there by Faye Roberts, but is able to break through for 4 points.
Directional gameplay penalty issued on
someone who hasn't reacted to it yet. 4
Katie
points.
Black, I think.
4 points to Delta Strike on the meanwhile, and another 4 points for Malou as well. Knocked over, bowled over a blocker on that pass.
Now it's just a give one, take one, as long as the jam is still running.
I almost feel like on these longer jams, you see England start to come a little bit loose around the edges. Things definitely faster and a lot more falls and spills happening.
For the moment, we are at an even jam. Both of the jammers are now in the same scoring trip within the pack. 12 and 12 to now. 2 minutes are over. 3 more for Delta Strike and 4 more for Malou. So Malou scored 1 more than Delta Strike.
Victoriously.
And look at the score. We have closed down to less than 40 points in the difference.
Yeah. Sweden coming back in the second half, 101 to Team England's 139, 17 and a half minutes left. They will send Emma Story to the line for England. Curly Hoare for Sweden. Ella Story, pardon me. Oh, and a forearm call going to Ella Story. The Swedish blocker knew it. So Curly Hoare on a power jam. Oh, I don't understand it. I truly don't. She moves so fast around that blocker. It looked like she had her number, but she does get through for lead for Sweden.
Hoping she will make up for that first period, because in 4 jams she was fielded in the first period. She was not able to score a single point.
Unusual. Curly Hoare, pretty darn good jammer, but there she's got some points. A 5-point Grand Slam for she of the curly hair.
I'm not quite expecting to put up like 35-point jams as she did yesterday against Russia.
A very different game for Sweden, that one. Ella Story back on the track, moving very quickly around.
Brief moment of confusion there, as with the call of there was a forearms penalty called on number 18 of Sweden. That's Hammarberg. So very unfortunate situation now for the next Swedish blocker jammer with 3 blockers in the penalty box.
Yep, so we'll have a lone blocker on the track. I don't know that Sweden quite realizes that's the case just yet. Just maybe one of you get off the track. There we go. So one lone blocker, I do believe that is Hammarberg. That's going to be hard to hold on to. So Alex Wild able to take advantage and get lead jammer pretty quickly there. Prince Sophia still left with all of the England blockers on the track. That's a 5-point Grand Slam for England. Dancing back onto the track, Kronholm out of the box. So Sweden now with 2 blockers on the track. Still not enough to do much damage. 5-point Grand Slam to Alex Wild. And Prince Sophia is through on her initial pass as well. But Sweden keeps losing blockers to the box. Just 2 on the track still as they call off the jam 3-0. Sweden's going to have to work to keep its blockers on the track. And we have a timeout being called by Sweden. Not surprised, they ran into sort of a cascade of penalties with blockers in the last couple of jams. Got a little bit hairy. Gonna want to reset.
Tell us something cheesy.
tell you something about something, maybe. How about I tell you about the Girls on Track Foundation? They're pretty amazing. Did you know that by age 14, girls are dropping out of sports at twice the rate of boys? Boo. We think roller derby can help change that stat. Learn more at girlsontrackfoundation.org. If you can hear me over the crowd getting hype right now here on the Rainy City Roller Derby track. And we want to shout out, of course, Rainy City Roller Derby for being our gracious hosts this weekend, putting on this amazing and complicated and giant sprawling event. It is a lot of work. We really thank all of the volunteers, obviously all of the officials, skating and non-medical staff, everybody. Thank you for helping make this happen. It's been a pretty incredible event so far. I'm exhausted, but very happy, Val.
I am as well. So, timeout is nearing its end. We already have fielded some jammers on track, some blockers in the penalty box, 2 for Sweden to be precise. Malou, number 22, on the jammer line for Team Sweden. Delta Strike with the number 4 is up for Team England.
Running start. Just up by the pivot line and just scooches right around Halloumi. Lead jammer going to Delta Strike. Delta Strike looking for the inside line, is able to make that work. 5-point Grand Slam for England.
And the Swedish blockers again trying to switch into offense mode to get Malou out of that initial. It's not as coordinated as it was probably meant to be, but it was effective.
Calling off that jam. England now with 2 blockers in the box. Sweden clear of penalty box time.
Onyeka Igwe and Charlene Scarlett starting from the penalty box this time. Blocker advantage at the start for Team Sweden. Number 7 Lumbu is up against Alex Wild.
See if they can make some use of this. 109 to 160. That differential keeps opening and closing and opening and closing. but they haven't been within more than about 40 for quite a while here. Wouldn't be there on the inside line. Lead jammer for Sweden. Dodges and weaves her way through. Wild still stuck behind Sweden's blockers in the turns. Wild is, sorry, go ahead.
Very well done here by Lundby using that gap. And now we're just waiting for the call off in time. Yep, 3-0.
Oh, that's just adorable what you saw on your screen right there. Happy little embrace with a teammate on their way off. Hard fought 3 points. Double Threat Skates expert advice from experienced staff. You can head to doublethreatskates.co.uk to find out more. That'll be Prince Sofia with a star for Sweden. We'll be facing off against Stephanie Maney for England. Stephanie Maney trying to pile drive her way up the middle. Prince Sofia pushing out a little bit in front against the tripod. Igwe going back to play some offense for Maney. Sweden so far shrugging it off. Prince Sofia all by herself working with that tripod headed into turn 2. Oh, yep, spins around a falling blocker and gets through for lead jammer for Sweden.
Gonna see a 6 lead jam in the second period for Team Sweden. So out of 12 jams, it makes for a 50% lead in the second period, and then we have a star pass to Shaolin Scarlett.
Prince Sofia tries to get her hips around someone at the last second there. English blocker is looking for an skating out of bounds call, but not sure she's going to get it. You can't usually ask a ref. They don't respond to requests. They respond to what they see on the track. So there is a little bit of conference happening here between the two refs on the side about what happened. The jam ref saying 3 points for Sweden. Talking in the middle about, but I'm going to guess nothing because no one's calling nothing. So clean and free.
160 to 115, 11 and a half minutes left in the game. And Curly Hoare as lead jammer for this one. Delta Strike with the helmet cover off the helmet, but past her pivot, cute block. And nice and easy pass there for Curly Hoare with 3 English blockers in the box.
A lot of blockers in the box right now. Sweden down 2 as well, including their pivot. So they're going to pick up 4 points on their way around for Delta Strike. Curly Hoare still out there jamming. Manages to keep her toes inbound. Oh, they're going to give her a cut. Interesting. I saw that up close and personal, and I wasn't sure if it was one, but the ref saw something different. So power jam England in a 5-point grand slam for Delta Strike. Sweden going to get all of its blockers back on the track. Still just a hop, skip, and a jump over the inside line. 5-point grand slam for Delta Strike. They are opening up that lead a little bit more comfortably now. Delta Strike on the inside, gets hit out.
Both of the jammers back on track. About half a minute left in this jam, 10 minutes left in the game. Both jammers stuck in traffic. Curly Hoare now recycle over the outside line, and Delta Strike as well.
We're gonna go way back in time. Just rewind this whole jam while we're at it.
Bricken is joining the action on the outside. Getting recycled with the jammers.
Way back. This isn't even eating the baby because there's no one back there. Both of the packs are just going backwards. Curly Hoare is trying, but Igwe keeps going. Sweden keeps going. I mean, both of the jammers on the outside right now, but that jam's just going to come to an end while we skate backwards. It's like a little backward skating demo, just to please the crowd. A little style, you know? Why not?
Well, it was nice to see our OPR's backward skating skills as well.
Roller Derby Elite is a proud sponsor of Team USA Roller Derby, playing a game on another track. It may actually be done by now. I'm not sure. I can't tell. They're behind us.
Which one? The USA game?
Yep, USA.
USA versus Finland. USA won by 309 to 34 points.
All
over
right,
Finland.
there we go. There's your results. Back on this track, Malou jamming for Sweden, Rogue Runner for England, Rogue Runner in the front, Malou in the back. Full packs for both teams.
Baglove in the middle, bridging the pack.
Up front, Rogue Runner getting called on a forearm. We'll head to the box. So Malou, jammer of record, power jam Sweden, still on the initial pass. 2 blockers to beat in the front as the pack starts to slowly spread out. We're just about into the far straightaway. There's the offensive assist from the team coming around, but that's going to give all of the English blockers a chance to get back up in front of Malou, which they do. England has been doing, again, an excellent job of just destroying these power jams. There were a few in this half that got away from them, but they're definitely back on track with what they were doing in the first period, just locking down power jams. And it is over without Malou getting through on the initial.
A Rogue Runner back on track, and this time the Swedish defense saw her coming back up. Both of the jammers are now crumbled up in that pack there.
Oh, Malou on 1 foot does grab lead jammer status around the outside in turn 3. And with a nice apex jump, Rogue Runner is also through on her initial.
Malou now in scoring position. Calls off the jam. Rogue Runner not able to score any.
You gotta
Consultation with the OPRs. 2 points scored for Malou.
178 to 124. Still technically in striking distance, about 7 minutes left, but you have to start wondering, Team Sweden, when they get lead at this point, does it make more sense to do real quick call-offs, or does it make more sense to try to get a few more scoring passes in if they can hold on to the jammer? You decide at home. P.S. Once this is done, you should switch over on your stream to the Track 1 channel, I guess, for the close of show, the close of event show, close of day show. Get a recap of the day's events and find out some cool previews for what's going on tomorrow. Prince Sophia jamming for Sweden, Ella Story for England. Ella Story in the back with just 2 Swedish blockers, because 2 are in the box, but they are doing an excellent job of holding on to her with just 2. Kronholm, one of them, unfortunately now picking up a penalty headed to the box. Going to get sent back onto the track, though, because the box is full. No room at the inn. And lead going to Ella Story in the meantime.
We were talking previously that at the last World Cup, England took the 3rd place and Sweden took the 6th place.
When was that World Cup? How long ago was that?
2011. No. What? That was not the last one. That was the first one?
Well, the last one would have been 2014.
That you wrote down. 2014 was the last World Cup.
That is correct.
That is correct, but it says 2011, so that was not on the last, but on the first World Cup.
We'll double check our work, see what's going on.
We will.
Ella Story now stuck behind a tripod of Swedish blockers. Just 1 left in the box to get released. Getting knocked to the inside, dragged back by Osterman. Prince Sophia on the far straightaway, also dealing with her own Nightmare O tripod, English tripod. English tripod just means that the driver is on the opposite side. I'll be here all night. Hey, breaking through Prince Sophia on the initial pass. And that jam comes to its conclusion with a 5 points in the pocket for England.
Less than 5 minutes left in this game.
183 to 124 for England. Well, if you can hear the house announcer behind me, 4.5 minutes left to go in this game. That's going to be Malou versus Alex Wild on the line.
Alex Wild pushing up in the front and is getting support. filly.
Oh, lead jammer has been assessed, but Malou's going to sneak out in front. Even though Alex Wild has it, she got reabsorbed into the pack, getting pulled back. They're telling her to call it. She's not doing it. So Malou's got some chance and definitely has some points here. There it is. That's going to be a 5-point scoring pass for Sweden. Alex Wild does finally call it off. Malou smiling. Yeah, that's right, I did that. So 5-0 in favor of Sweden, even though they did not have lead on that jam. Not too bad. Roller Derby City, being a skater owned and operated, means supporting the roller derby community is at the heart of what we do, and we've been proudly supporting local roller derby since we began back in 2010. That's Roller Derby City, UK based and shipping worldwide.
Delta Strike up against Lundby for the upcoming jam, and both of the jammers just viciously running into these opposing walls. Lundby very agile and jumpy, tries to push to the front, gets support from below me, and lead is called. Lead is given to Sweden, but Lundby gets recycled, pulled back into the pack. Delta Strike with the helmet cover off, running up against below me. Last rocker to beat. And the cut track call on Delta Strike. So, power jam for Lundby. Lundby as lead jammer. 2.5 minutes left to play. Let's see how that one will turn out. 54 point differential. Huge takeout to the infield.
Igwe and Shaolin Scarlett drawing back Lundby in that recycle. Box clear for Sweden. One blocker down. Well, I'm sorry, one jammer down for England. Down. I get confused when they take their helmet covers off. Bench coach is emphatically trying to get their jammer to call it off. No, it's too low. They were going to have her keep going, and then she finally saw the call off and called it off. So 5-point grand slam for Sweden. It can get confusing out there as a jammer. You're getting beat up and just trying to get around, and sometimes you hear things a little bit later.
The bad part about the helmet covers coming off is that with S1Helmet.co being the official sponsor of the Roller Derby World Cup this year, they all are wearing the same helmets.
And they do all look very similar.
Distinguish them by this one's shiny, this one has that sticker. They all have the same helmet.
That's true. Prince Sofia jamming for Sweden, Stephanie Maney for England. Stephanie Maney out front, trying to muscle her way through the Swedish pack. A little bit of help there coming from Kid Block, and it is free and clear. Stephanie Maney is lead. I appreciate that there seems to be equal enthusiasm for both teams having success in this game. Prince Sofia still stuck in the back behind Helvetica Black. Huge hit, but Stephanie Maney, she's Stephanie Maney. She's still going. No big deal. That is going to be, that's going to be a call on that final blocker there. So 5-point grand slam. Sometimes you just get really involved in that final last-ditch blocking and lose track of things.
Well, and to be honest, every once in a while, those penalties are totally
worth it. With a 5-point grand slam for Stephanie Maney. We're down to, this is going to be the last jam, 20 seconds left on the period clock, 54 on the jam clock. So Stephanie Maney going to finish this one out big for England, up to 15 points already, as things have kind of gone a little bit haywire for Sweden at the end here, but they have put in one heck of an effort in the second half especially, coming back real hard, having some serious successes. Prince Sofia not giving up, trying to dance around the inside line. Stephanie Maney looking to the bench after another 5 points. She's like, you want me to do some more? Should I go score some more points? Because I can. All right. Prince Sofia still not out. Got recycled back into the English formation. No, they're finally able to break free with the helmet cover in her hand. Stephanie Maney, let's go ahead and call it off. That period is done. So victory to England, 205 to 134, unofficial score so far in this quarterfinal game of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup. Big breath, big breath. Sweden putting up one heck of a fight. just coming up a little bit short, but they will go on to face Finland. Is that correct?
Well, since we
No,
had
I'm sorry. It'll be the loser of the Australia-France game, which I don't know yet. Do we know that?
Yes, we do.
That would have been France?
Have it somewhere. I wrote it down. Oh no, Canada, Argentina. Oh no, yeah, Australia, France. No, they're still running.
They're still running?
They are.
Wow, we're getting all sorts of contradictory info. But yes, so the Australia-France game's still going. The loser of that game, however, will play Sweden. So England will go on to play whichever team.
Probably the winner of
one
the
of those games, yeah.
Australia-France games.
one of those, either that or USA.
But you
who beat
know
Finland.
who's going to be able to tell us? The people who will be hosting
Oh,
the
yeah.
after show now on the S1 Helmet.co track,
Yeah, that would be track 1 if you want to switch over there and find out, because
Exactly.
they're going to know more than we know.
and they will tell you everything that you might have missed during the day, because apparently you can only watch one of the 4 tracks at the same time.
You know what? If you have 4 monitors and 4 different connections, I bet you could have a whole big Wallow Derby up, and I guarantee you someone has done that. It sounds overwhelming and distracting to me,
Probably.
but someone has
But
definitely
you
done
can
that.
only process so much at
True.
the same time.
It's true. It's true. Anyway, you should switch on over to the track 1 feed in a short change here and watch that final show show of day 3 here at the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup. Again, England over Sweden 205 to 134 is the final score. Thank you so much for sticking around with us, and definitely come back tomorrow as well for the final day. We've got a whole bunch of amazing games in store for you, including those top 8 medal matches that will be broadcast here on the stream via Derby Duck. Thank you to them. And also the 3rd place game, 1st place game, and the Juniors Expo, the International Juniors Game Expo, which is super exciting, will be broadcast on BBC Sport. Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much again. I'm Hammer Abby.
I'm Valkyria, and thank you, Great Smacksby, for sitting here with us.
We'll see you later.